So let me just ask you this. Can you really afford a slow start in 2026?
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it?
It is, because every piece of data we've seen from, high-performing sales teams, it all tells us the same thing.
Q1 is not a warm-up.
Not at all. It is the launch phase. It dictates the pace, the velocity, the sheer weight of your entire sales year.
And if you start slow, you're not just losing January's revenue.
No, you spend the next 3 quarters just chasing a number you should have banked in the spring.
That's the critical insight. And today we are diving deep into some excerpts from the Q1 pipeline formula, how top teams start 2026 strong, which was provided by the sales experts.
Right.
And this research, it really maps out the difference between the teams that just survive the year and the ones that truly dominate.
And the core message seems to be, well, relentless. You need an architecture for immediate execution.
You do.
So that's our mission today. We want to unpack this precise 8-point Q1 pipeline formula.
And we're going beyond just, a basic checklist.
Yeah, we're looking at the strategic leadership moves you need to make to jump straight from planning into sustained high-velocity sales success.
We're delivering the blueprint, the one elite teams use to build massive momentum right out of the gate. We'll cover everything from defining certainty all the way to continuous recruitment.
Okay, let's unpack that first one, though. The foundational element. The need for absolute certainty.
Right.
It sounds a little obvious, doesn't it? I mean, of course, reps need to know their numbers.
But the difference here is defining certainty at the input level, not just the output.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's not enough for a salesperson to just know their annual quota.
Yeah.
They have to know exactly how to get there.
So breaking it down.
Breaking it way down.
Yeah.
What specific pipeline has to be generated now? What's the required mix of deals?
Yeah.
Is it 60% expansion, 40% new logo? And most critically, what are the daily mandatory behaviors needed to hit that goal?
I love that shift. A shift to behavior-based certainty. Because if the leadership team defines the inputs, the rep stops wasting mental energy trying to invent a strategy and can just focus 100% on the action.
Exactly.
But, okay, if we have that clarity, the next strategy from the source material, that's the real game changer.
Which is foundation number 2. High-performing teams use Q1 to aggressively load revenue, not just for Q1.
But for the middle of the year, Q2 and Q3.
The whole middle of the year.
Wait a minute. So you're asking a sales team who's already burdened with new annual targets to increase their workload right after the holidays?
Yeah.
Specifically to fund quarters that are months away. I mean, that sounds like a recipe for burnout.
It could be, but they manage it by framing it as a strategic investment, not just an activity spike.
I see.
Think about why teams fall behind. They treat Q1 as this standalone thing. Then Q2 or Q3 rolls around and they suddenly realize the top of their funnel is totally dry.
And they've lost critical time.
They've lost months. The sales experts are really clear on this. If you want a strong Q3, you have to build that pipeline in Q1.
So this is about future-proofing the business, not just arbitrary activity. What are the specific actions leaders should be mandating?
Well, it requires front-loading all your prospecting. January and February have to be the heaviest prospecting months of the entire year.
Okay.
Leaders have to aggressively mandate re-engaging dormant accounts, reactivating old pipeline that may be stalled out in Q4. It's about squeezing every drop out of every possible warm lead.
And there's a hard metric attached to this that really jumped out at me. The sales experts say you need to increase top-of-funnel activity by a crucial 20 to 30% early in Q1.
Yes, that 20 to 30%, it's like an insurance policy.
Right.
It ensures the team is investing in future sales success.
Okay.
I mean, if a rep hits their Q1 number, but only generated enough pipeline for Q1, they've actually failed the organization for Q2 and Q3.
So that extra buffer, that 20 to 30%, that's the strategic requirement.
It confirms you won't be scrambling come June.
That transition takes us perfectly into optimizing the team's ability to actually execute all this. Action 3 is all about removing friction.
And this is where it gets really interesting for executives.
It is. Elite teams get that every single moment a rep isn't selling, they are actively draining revenue.
That's right. The fundamental equation is that every minute you win back from, operational noise, that becomes potential pipeline. It helps them hit that 20 to 30% increase we just talked about.
So legacy processes are basically revenue drains.
They are, and they have to be ruthlessly eliminated.
So what does that look like on a Monday morning? What specific friction points are we talking about auditing and cutting?
You need an immediate audit of the daily workflow. This means removing the low-value admin tasks that can be automated or, delegated.
Okay.
But more importantly, it means fixing the CRM friction points. If your reps are spending 45 minutes manually logging data for commissions, that's a problem.
Or struggling with old fields that don't sync on their phone.
Exactly. Time lost. You have to give reps faster, cleaner approval paths for deals and set crystal clear internal SLAs, service level agreements.
So everyone in the company knows how quickly they have to respond to sales.
Right. The cultural implication is huge. You're telling the whole organization that selling is the primary job, and every other function serves that goal.
And if we remove the friction, the next logical step is making sure the team is competent enough to handle the volume.
That brings us to action point 4, training early and reinforcing constantly.
We all know how well cramming training into late Q4 works.
It doesn't. Everyone's checked out. Q1 is the moment when behavior changes actually stick because the pressure's on execution. They need the skills right now.
So we're not talking about generic sales training day here. What specific areas should leaders be focusing on in January and February?
The focus has to be on high-leverage skills, things that directly impact deal progression. So, intensive product knowledge, ensuring everyone can articulate sharp competitor position, running simulations for complex buyer conversations, mastering objection handling, and critical qualification discipline. It has to be integrated, not a one-time event.
Let's talk about that qualification piece, because that's what protects the entire investment we just made in loading up the pipeline.
Right. Action point 5, tightening qualification.
What does this really mean for pipeline quality?
Well, weak teams chase everything. Great teams focus ruthlessly on the right buyers.
Because the cost of a bad deal isn't just the lost revenue.
No, it's the opportunity cost. It's all that time wasted that could have been spent on a deal with a real probability of closing.
So what mandatory actions should an executive take to enforce this kind of rigor in Q1?
Leaders have to mandate a clear qualification framework, whether it's MEDDIC, BANT, whatever structured approach they use.
And the rule has to be enforced.
Has to be. Review those early-stage deals weekly, and close out anything that hasn't progressed or just won't convert. The analysis from the sales experts is unequivocal here. The cleaner the funnel, the more revenue it produces.
So reps spend time where it counts, where the probability is highest.
Exactly.
And if we have a clean funnel, we need a high-impact way to make sure things are moving. That leads to action point 6. Weekly pipeline reviews that actually drive action.
Yes, action, not just status reporting. By March, this cadence defines your entire sales culture.
Because too many of these meetings are just long, draining sessions where reps narrate the CRM.
Right. To avoid that, the meeting has to be high impact, focused only on forward momentum and roadblocks.
So instead of a status report, what are the 4 action-oriented questions the source says we should focus on?
Okay, the 4 questions are designed to accelerate things. 1, what definitively moved forward this week and why?
Okay.
2, what is definitively blocked, and what specific resources needed to unblock it.
I like that. Very specific.
3, what is closing in the next 30 days, and what are the known risks? And 4, what new pipeline was added to hit that 20 to 30% future goal?
Those reviews become acceleration points. It shifts the focus from what are you doing to how can I help you close this?
It does.
Which brings us directly to leadership's role in all this. Action point 7 is manager coaching responsibility.
And here's a hard truth from the sales experts for executives.
A manager who isn't actively coaching is simply an administrator. Full stop.
It's the highest leverage activity in the entire organization, and yet it's often the first thing that gets cut when volume goes up.
Right.
And executives have to understand the speed of your team is directly dictated by managerial leadership. If your managers are stuck in spreadsheets or dealing with low-value admin disputes, your team cannot move fast enough.
So what are the essential coaching activities that execs must mandate managers prioritize over admin work?
They need to spend their time in the field, so to speak. This means managers have to be shadowing calls, listening to recordings, reviewing messaging quality, jumping in to help fix broken deals in real time, and constantly reinforcing those winning behaviors we established back in point 1. You have to strengthen your managers first.
Finally, we get to the hidden advantage of elite teams. Action point 8, continuous recruitment.
This isn't just about filling a chair when someone leaves. This is about strategic depth.
Building a bench long before you ever have a vacancy.
It's proactive talent acquisition, not reactive hiring.
Good.
The source actually calls January through March the single most important hiring window of the year.
Why is that?
because you are setting the talent bar for the next 9 months.
So what are the specific tactics they recommend for this in Q1?
You have to always be close to top talent. So managers and leaders should dedicate time every week to mapping competitor talent
Okay.
and actively keeping passive candidates warm, even if you don't have an open role. And, crucially, add robust assessments early in the process to filter for quality. You embed this idea that you're always looking for the best.
That makes strategic recruitment a core part of the Q1 formula, not an afterthought. So that really covers the architecture. If you're a sales leader or an executive listening to this, the 8-point Q1 formula from the sales experts is designed to move you from planning paralysis to execution momentum.
It is. Set expectations, build the pipeline early, remove friction, reinforce skills.
Protect the funnel, coach weekly, and recruit continuously.
But let's maybe distill this down. For the executive listener right now, what are the 3 non-negotiable actions you have to mandate today?
Good idea. Okay, first for me, it has to be strategic pipeline loading. You must ensure Q1 prospecting increases your top of funnel by that crucial 20 to 30%.
Right, to secure Q2 and Q3.
Exactly. View Q1 as an investment in future revenue, not just a standalone quarter.
Okay, second.
An immediate and ruthless friction elimination audit. Go find those low-value admin tasks, the CRM headaches, and just get rid of them. Every minute you save is pipeline.
You have to make selling the easiest thing your reps do.
Yes. And third, and this might be the most culturally impactful one, managerial accountability.
Mandate that managers prioritize coaching.
Mandate it. Make sure they are shadowing calls, fixing deals, and not just doing administrative tasks. You have to strengthen your leadership first.
And to dive deeper into this full formula, to download specific templates for qualification, and to access more essential strategies for sales success, we really encourage you to visit thesalesexperts.com.
And as you map out the launch phase for your own team, maybe take a moment to reflect on this crucial question. If your team's Q1 is defined by reaction, just catching up to last year's goals, instead of a proactive launch, where will your revenue stability be when Q3 begins?